Why do you think Gen Zs are the way they are? First of all, Gen Zs, how are we? Welcome back to the Gen Z Christian Podcast. So today, my team members decided to set me up. Well, they didn't set me up, but they did. There were some questions in this jar that I've not seen before, and I'm going to be reading some of them out. FYI, they're all Gen Zs, so so these are questions that I'm sure you'll be able to relate to. So I'm about to get shocked. Woo! Okay. Compose. What is a major distraction to you? Oh, okay, this is a very sensible question. What is a major films, movies, series? What is a major distraction to you? This is a very broad question, but a major distraction to maybe my work or to my career is film, which is ironic because I'm a filmmaker and I need to watch film and I need to watch series because it's what I do. So I need to see movies and series. However, the issue is that I overdo it. I love, oh God, I love movies a lot. So I think that's a distraction. This is a very good, how about the questions are like this? This is a very good question. They're laughing behind this. People should laugh first, let them hear it. What do you like about me and why? I don't know who this person is. So how am I supposed to answer this question? Okay. How am I supposed to answer this question? What do you like about me and why? So I'm just going to say everything I like about everybody here. So I'm just going to say, so if you guys are seeing me, but behind the scene are like the people that are making this podcast happen. And I think that there's one thing about, I think maybe there's one general thing I like about everybody here is the fact that everybody, I think everybody has like an art of service. In today's world where people, we all need to make money. Money is important because we need money to get things, get stuff. But they understand the balance between sometimes you need to serve and money follow. When you serve, money will eventually come. Money follows value. Money follows value. And the fact that with service comes like a lot of things. And one of those things is money. It's improvement of skills in relationship. And so I think that everybody here understands that, including me. So I think I like this about everybody here. So I don't know who we're into, so I just answered in general. Why do you think Gen Zs are the way they are? First of all, Gen Zs, how are we? Is that English even correct? God, I cannot speak Londa. Gen Zs, why do you think Gen Zs are the? So after this question, I need to understand what the person means by the way we are. Like, is it that we are both? We are okay. So let me just say the things I think Gen Z's characteristics of Gen Z's. I think that we are bold. I think that we're very audacious. I think that sometimes which can be a bad thing, is that sometimes we can be very, what's the word now? What's the word? We can be impulsive, which can be a bad thing. However, why do I think we have all of these things? I think it's because of the generation that we are in. So the generation before us, millennials, they were not very exposed to the internet the way we are. Some of us Gen Zs were not exposed to the internet when we were very young. Because when I was born, there wasn't internet at that time. When I was growing up too, wasn't like a lot. I think it was when I entered secondary school that I began to know about to go, Facebook, skimming, all of those things. So I wasn't really very exposed to it in the early stages of my life. But for a lot of us Gen Zs, by the time we entered secondary school, and even some Gen Zs from their primary schools, they got exposed to internet. So we are loaded with information. Like, I think that's why we are the way we are. There's so much dragging our attention. From a very little age, millennials, some of them were able to do their 20s without facing this difficulty. But for us, we are literally in our 20s, figuring life out, and we are loaded with so much things. Like, there's a lot to figure out. And then there's the internet, there's AI. So I think that a lot of these actually actually plays a role in shaping who we are, actually influences us. Because you can literally learn anything about anywhere in the world within seconds, within minutes. Just ask ChatGPT what's happening in North Korea. Even information that you don't want is showing on your timeline. So I think that influences us, but not in a bad way, sha. I don't know who wrote that question or is it one question. I'm not God guys in here. Why did you pick me? I don't know where is it Peter or is it Paul? FYI, there's Peter, there's Paul or said. I want God guys. I don't want to know. I want all guys in CN. But what do we are there? Why did I pick you as how? As my husband? I'm not born in TN. So for those that are watching this that do not know what TN means, TN is transformation. Transformation in my church. And everybody here is attending transformation church. So this person is asking me that amongst all the guys in my church, why him? But what I do not know is what do you mean by why you? Because why you as per why you to date you? I don't know. I don't understand what that question means, and I don't know who wrote it, so I can't even answer that question. I'm not avoiding it too. I just understand. Okay. Hey, what would you do? The person I wrote this question said to you, what would you do if you find out that your leader in church is causing an act of infidelity? Leave church or do something different? And first of all, I'm not going to leave church. Let me just put that out because I'm not attending church for my leader. So I'm not going to leave church if I find out that I'm not going to leave church. So now what will I then do? Will I just carry my eyes away? Will I ignore it? I'll probably make sure that leader knows that I'm aware that they did that. I don't know. I will just make sure that they know. And then maybe after that, what will I now do? I don't know. But I'm not going to leave church. I'm going to make sure that they know that I know. And then I don't know what that conversation would be like. I don't know what it will look like. I don't know if I'm going to maybe tell an higher authority, but I think I will probably discuss with the person first before me this. I don't know. But I'm not going to leave church because I'm not there. I'm not that because it was that I wanted to leave church. How did I leave church? I did Jesus Christ. I did my personal blood as serious. Did I put my sin? Okay, my son. The person I read that question said to me, what is love to you? No be love of God do. Now agape abi. Agape they talk. So love to me is my mother collecting cooperative money to pay for my school fees. Love to me is me calling my mother and saying that I'm broke. And that's like I've been broke, borrowing money and making sure that I'm fine. Making sure that she sends money to me. Love to me is my mommy going hungry to make sure that there's my tip. Is my mother going hungry to make sure that I make fine air and I look good. So that's love to me. It's basically selflessness. It's sacrifice, and that was even what Jesus Christ did for us on the cross. So when sometimes I get scared that because of how I am, sometimes I wonder will I be able to find someone who would love me, or will I be able to love, and that thing that people said and say that his love is overrated. The reason I do not believe those things or I let those things go is because of my mother. Because it's not like my mother is perfect. No, there's no perfect human being or anything. But the relationship between my mother and I shows me that love is actually real. And it's not because she gave birth to me. It's because of the things that she did, she has done, and she's still doing. And so I think I learned love from my mom. This person said not the love of God, but the love of God is where we are already. The fact that Jesus Christ died for us, that's ultimate love, that God sent his son to die for us. So yeah. Next question. If people set me up on this set, after we are done, everybody will tell me who wrote this quote. Which I must have said, why did you choose me amongst all the guys in transformation church? Where do you see Gen Z Christian podcast in the next 5 years? This is a very smart question. Let me read. Where do you see Gen Z Christian podcast in the next 5 years? So I see us going global, and that can sound like a cliche statement. So I'm an avid podcast listener. Sorry, I don't tabo. I'm an avid podcast listener. I'm an avid podcast listener. So and some of my favorite podcast, Diary of a CEO by Stevie, yeah. On Purpose, the Shetty, IMO, that's in my opinion. Michelle Obama and her brothers. So, those are like my favorite podcasts. And when I look at those podcasts, I see how they've been able to like influence the world and influence people on a global level. Like those podcasts are like my go-to podcasts when I'm doing stuff in the house. Like when I need answers to things, I just need to just scroll through my any of my podcast app and see if they've released any episode. The quality of guests is amazing. I really hope to get to that level more. And they speak to the different aspects of life, different areas of life. They've been able to, I mean, these are podcasts that are being hosted in Diary of a CEO. I know he's in the UK. IMO is in the US. On Purpose is in the US. And I'm here in Nigeria. I listen to them. I relate to the conversation. So that's the level I hope to attain. I hope that somebody in Russia they will listen to the Desert Christian Pod and they would relate, they would connect. Somebody in South Korea, or maybe let me even say North Korea, somebody in Sweden, in Jamaica, in Trinidad and Tobago will listen and would watch and they would feel blessed. So in the next 5 years, I see this podcast going global. But yeah, I see the team growing bigger. I see every member of this team, of the podcast team, doing their own thing on a whole different level. I see us having our own studio. It's amazing because I don't want to be okay. Let me not say that, but yeah, I see us doing that. So, I mean, there are so many things I know that the next 5 years, I don't even think even these things I'm saying is not going to happen in the next 5 years. It's going to happen soon. So, I think that what's going to happen in the next 5 years is going to shock me. I think that what God is going to do with this podcast in 5 years' time would shock me. And I'm going to come back to this video and I'm going to post it that time. This is January 2026. So, wherever I with that question, thank you for the question. Last question. So, no bad questions. So if you question, what does success mean to you? I was literally having a conversation with somebody about this. Actually, the person is even supposed to come to the podcast, but he could not make it. I'm talking about what success means, and we're saying that success is not just. I know that success means different things to different people, but a lot of people attach success to making money. But I realized that when you start making the money, you realize that success is not just about making money. Money is good. I don't get me wrong. Go. Money is good. Money, you're able to get things with money. It solves a lot of people's problems because when you have money, you can focus on other things. When you know that part of your life is secure. However, success is all round for me. Success is having money, is having a thriving and flourishing career. Success is having a home to go to, having love at home. Hey, it's not that you got also then you come back and the house is toxic. Is having not a perfect, because I think it's a perfect family, but having like a family that you can only rely on, you can only fall back to. You know, success is being fulfilled, knowing that you are doing what God has said that you should do, and you feel fulfilled doing it. Knowing that you're impacting lives, you are changing lives, you're impacting people. Yeah, I think that's success to me. So I think all of those things. I don't think it's just one thing. So yeah, these are the questions. Oh, 8 questions in total. Eshe Goni for setting me up. Thank you all so much for setting me up. I'm putting the questions in the jar. For those that are listening to the audio version, I have a jar with me. So that's why I got all the questions. But can you hear the sound of paper? Hey, God, that air. All right, now, thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope you found it very interesting. I'll see you in my next episode.